All right, we actually got a pretty good main character moment this chapter. So, as we left off, Bone Collection, they're going after this dude who's like a S class yokai, and they're like, all right, if you guys can take care of him, then I'll put in a word so we can get your using the yokai spell approved. And the main character, Kazami wouldn't have to be hiding all the time when using it and trying to avoid getting caught, and he could get an official permit to be able to use this. You know what's funny also? I noticed that the first, like the opening page of the chapter, that the main character pretty much has a harem already lined up. He's got Pyre, he's got Reno, and he's got this girl Abe. It's I thought that was kind of funny just thinking about it, like getting into it. Just already this guy's getting it. The girl Aki Fuyu. She's like a contender, but I feel like she's gonna be kind of obvious as like somebody in there. But we get to the guy, and I like that we open an explanation of like talking about like why he wears this mask, and he's saying how much he hates his face, and he's saying like in the yokai world he's got the most hideous face, and like all these other yokai like were afraid to like even come near him. So he became kind of like a recluse. He like lived in this cave and just kind of kept to himself and just drank and was just kind of moping all the time. Eventually, he met Pyra, who would come over and drink with him. He made a friend. He was all happy about that, and things were just kind of like looking really well for him. At that point, he said like the great Tengu. So I'm guessing the Tengu character is going to be like a top ranked yokai. Like I know of the Tengu in the lore, like in general, the idea of Owen, but this one obviously, if this guy's a S class, then he's calling them the Great Tengu. It has to be at least like double S or triple S, because as far as we know, it goes up to three S's. Maybe there's like an X rank above that or something. I don't know. But he's like saying how I guess he could be S rank, but just higher up on the totem pole. Either way, somebody's superior to him. He's like saying how, oh, would you like to go to the human world? And I think I'm just looking at the frame of this person that this might Tengu might be a girl. I don't know. But he's like, oh yeah, they had brought me to the human world, and just saying how now he's here, and he never really wanted to. He never had issues with humans. He like never like seemed to have beef. He seemed pretty peaceful, and it turns out these children. I thought they were gonna end up being like weird mind controlled kind of like constructs or something, or like some super clay golems that look really lifelike, but they're actually just kids who really like this dude because he rescued them from like an abusive parent who shows up, and then he pretty much just scare him away, and anytime they show up he ends up scaring away with his monsters. So his whole like predicament is actually a good thing. So he's not a bad guy. I was pretty happy to find out that, because it further opens the part of the story that the yokai aren't inherently bad. There are bad ones, but there are clearly good ones. We knew that from the start of the series, but it shows that it's not like some like outlier of information of the yokai that's like, oh man, there's only two like that. No, it seems like they're seemingly just like people. They're just like, there's good people and there's bad people, just like that there's good yokai and bad yokai. We already know that. Like Pyra seems pretty chill. This dude seems pretty chill too. And when they go to like take off his face, it turns out he's just a bichi. He's actually very pretty. But in regards to like the yokai world, I guess a pretty man is probably not the most well received thing. They clearly like Pyra's just like, listen, you're ugly, but at least you're like really optimistic, and I like that. And I thought that was pretty funny, because I guess if that's the case, like it really just comes down in that situation to like, what is it? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. If in their world they think that dude pretty isn't really good looking, then it is what it is. But now I did like when Kazami's like, listen, you're gonna be really popular in this world, so just you're gonna be good. Just don't worry about it. I mean, as long as he can blend in when he's got this big horn, this big like weird spiral drill horn. I hope it all goes well for him. But after that point, we got the girl, Abe, the Akifuyu chick, and she's like, well, it doesn't really matter because yokai and humans can't live together. They're kind of just seen as evil, and the law is to exterminate them. She gets prepped up to go take them out, like gets in her weird like buff dude construct. His arm actually morphs into like a sword, which was really interesting. I'm curious to know like what else does it do, because it's obviously not her actual body. It's like some weird like shell that she puts on. So having some like weird powers onto it like this makes sense. I'm wondering what else, like would she be able to like go underwater and like kind of like maybe turn him into like a weird submersible, or is there a flight function? But as it were, we get Kazami going in this nice panel. I decided to put it as the main one for the chapter just because I thought it was a pretty solid main character moment. It's when the main character is showing who they are, kind of like putting their ideals right out in front of them, and making sure that, you know, whoever they've got beef with right now is aware of it. So he grabs onto, like, you know, this sharp bladed arm and just kind of like holds it in place. The thing that made me very intrigued by that was, like, he didn't have like the sweat marks, like, I'm in pain, but I'm doing. He seemed very serious, like the pain just absolutely showed him zero attention. Like he didn't show the pain any attention. It was completely not on his radar right now. As he's like saying, like, even exorcists can tell when someone is good or bad. You know, we're not stupid. The yokai are here for a reason. Anyone can kill, but it's like, you know, they don't. It's not their job to be doing this, just to kind of like kill indiscriminately. So he's clearly, the thing that I like about him is the way that the series is set up, and it's only 8 chapters in. But I like how much his personality plays into his power, because his whole power is he can draw, draw an ability from yokai. He's essentially he's using something that gets a specific power boost from them, and the power and like accuracy of it is based on like seemingly the bonds between like the two people, and because of that, his personality, like, one of the reasons he can use it so well is like, oh yeah, you don't. Well, there's the whole fact that he's got like he's pretty much a giant empty vessel, but also the way that he sees the yokai, he understands. Yeah, there's gonna be good ones, there's gonna be bad ones. Same with people. There's good people and there's bad people. But and I don't know. I think it's nice to see like the comparison of his power and like the way that it works, and then just how that ties into who he is. I think that's just really cool. But like, I like afterwards, he got like the girl Akifu. She goes and just kind of pats him on the head. She's like, "All right, you did good." And he's like bleeding heavily out of his hands. And essentially, it was like a test, and she wanted to just kind of like see what he was gonna do. But at the same time, she's like, "We still need to find out about like this Tengu guy and see what's going on for there." And then after that point, you had the dude. He decided to go home. He decided to just kind of like leave these kids, and everyone's a little bummed out that he was leaving. But he's got stuff to do. He's got his own, yokai stuff going on. But now, Akifuyu has created her own unit. She's got like a squad. I'm guessing that not only Pyra's in it, but also Kazami. I do like Pyra's outfit, and I like the cool like shoulder, like it's like directly below the shoulder and kind of like loops around her chest. But it's like also this kind of shorter. Would it be a kimono? I don't know, with like the big bone. I think it just looks nice. And I'm wondering if it's going to be like white, because I'm guessing, I'm pretty sure her hair is white, just like thinking back on the color pages, because obviously she's bone themed, so it would make sense. Regardless of which, I think it's a pretty cool outfit. And like Reno's like not getting it. I mean, even if she wore it, I mean, what is it gonna really display? She seems pretty not built in comparison. But she's kind of getting left out and getting a little sad that she didn't get to be included in any of this. So that part was pretty amusing. But I mean, we also got ended on a pretty funny part too, because Pyra's like saying his reward, she's gonna sleep next to him at night, and like at that odd night, you have his brother who's like pretty much being a clock, and then his dad who's sleeping between them. Ruined for him. I feel bad. He didn't even have to do anything lewd. He could have just had the night's experience, but he had his family members unfortunately ruin it. Cock block this dude real hard, unfortunately so. Anyway, comment below. Tell me your thoughts about this chapter. I liked it so far. I'm actually really looking forward to getting to volume 1 of this series and putting it in the back instead of just the picture from chapter 1. I think it's been somewhat well received so far. I think in its first ranked week, it got 4th, which is obviously pretty good. Let's fingers crossed, and I'm hoping Bone Collection survives the about halfway, because usually it's somewhere between like 15 to 20 range chapters. If they can survive that, then it'll keep going. Otherwise, it'll get cut off. We'll see. I'm hoping it does well. I'm enjoying the series so far. I like that the art is either really silly or it just looks really cool, and has like parts where it's like, man, this looks like you probably drew it in 5 minutes, and then you get like the part with like that big dragon that Akifuyu dropped, and it was like, man, this looks fantastic. But yeah, stuff like that, I'm pretty hyped to see more. I want to see more of these Tengu. And I actually am hoping that bits of their lore and like their actual lore are kind of like built in their story, so you can kind of figure out a little bit about where the concept comes from while partaking in this story. I think that'll be pretty fun. But other than that, they'll comment below. Tell me your thoughts are about this, and tell me what exactly you want to see coming up in the next chapter. And other than that, I really appreciate the comment below. Thumbs up the video, but from the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But other than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed. And thank you all for listening. Bye.